Hi guys, this is Teresa, and we are here today with our wonderful appraiser, that we've been working with for about 20 years.
Yeah, about 20 years.
Mary and I met each other probably back in 2003, and we're not only friends, but we value everything that she does for us and her opinions on all of the valuations that we need out here on the lake. So let's get started with Mary. What we talk about as a team quite a bit is the fact that now, since everything was so crazy, let's just say 2021, and what would you say, up to May or June of 2022?
Yeah, I'd say May. Yeah, April, May.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you go back 6 months right now, of course, we're going to be within that 6 months of when the market started correcting, as we would say. Do you sometimes still go back a year if you cannot find any sales within the 6 months that would be a great comp for a property that you're actually doing an appraisal on?
Yeah, no, great question. I can go back a year, and when it comes to lenders, they also allow us to go back, if you will, a year. Obviously, we want them as recent as possible, but if we have to go back a year, we have to then determine, okay, how much has that market corrected? And then we make what we call a market change adjustment, down or up, depending on which way the market has gone.
How do you guys actually do that?
How do we make that adjustment? Well, we look at the numbers year over year, and we actually have I have like a software program that helps me to plot that, and we see, okay, what was it, 7, 8 months ago, what was it 6 months ago, what was it 3, 4 months ago, and it will tell you, and you'll see the median price, and it will give you a good idea as to how much it may have gone up or down during those quarter periods. Because
that would be hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I like the challenge, right? It's not for everybody.
So what do you think was going on with the market right now?
Well, it is definitely, I would say, in correction mode. I've started to see where, we're kind of seeing a little bit of a dip year over year, but certain price ranges are different. Some have remained stable, some have actually gone up, but the higher priced ones, I'm seeing, a little bit more of a correction. In some cases, upwards of 8 to 10% year over year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because we all know that it was crazy nuts back in 2000 right before or right after the pandemic. So 2021 I should say, was crazy. It was on fire. And that kind of went on into about the first part of 2022. That's when I really started to see a little bit of a slowdown. But I still think the lake market is pretty strong.
Well,
overall, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's a strong market, and I enjoy appraising.
What would you say that you're mainly doing right now? Are you doing maybe mostly lender appraisals for new purchases? Are you doing appraisals like pre-list appraisals?
So the majority of what we're doing is the personal pre-list, pre-sale type of scenarios. We're also doing a fair amount of estate situations where, where somebody, a family member died, and they have to get what we call a date of death appraisal. So we have to value the property as of the date of death, which is in the past, right? And because they have to have it for tax purposes, they have to have a basis point. Because then when they go to sell it, they might have some capital gains that they have to deal with. So,
or less capital gains than they would.
Because if the market goes down, right? Then and they sell later and the market's down, then that's a good situation.
Right.
So the estate valuations, typically they want them as high as they can get them, basically, as high as I can justify, right?
From the time of death.
From the time of death, right.
So for years, we have been using Mary to do pre-list appraisals when we are going to take a listing. Out here on the lake, everything's so different, and it's really hard to compare apples to apples. And Mary is an appraiser that knows how to make adjustments for the site value, the view, the depth of the water, what size dock is actually there, and then of course the square footage of the home too. And we personally have found that that is a great way to share with the seller about what their property may sell for in today's market. Now, it's not totally set in stone, but you know what? It gives a great guideline of what they can expect.
Most appraisers work with lenders mostly. I mean, most of their business is lender business. And for years, I've changed that around to work with realtors. And, you know, I belong to the Hall County Board of Realtors, as you know.
Of course, and she
So-
just got Best of All for how many years?
Yeah, this is the 5th year now. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Best of All appraiser for 5 years. Also, you know, you remember I was a realtor before I became an appraiser. So my affiliation with realtors has been really good for our business because I'm surviving through the slow times with the affiliations with, you know, the realtors and the pre-listings and the pre-sales and everything like that. If I was relying on lender business, I'd be in trouble for 2023.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So-
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to
You're
come
welcome.
and visit with us and all of these lovely people out there.
You are very
And
welcome.
About just giving us the knowledge and the predictions about the future as far as lake property goes.
And if I might say something about my host here, Teresa Smith, I've worked with her for 20 years. I do work with a lot of other realtors, but anytime anybody asks me, you know, because a lot of times they'll ask for referrals the other way, and I very much appreciate all the business you've given to me over the years. But one thing that I really, really like about Teresa, and I call them like I see them, right? I don't
Now, you don't
fluff anything. Thank you. What I like about her is, to me, realtors earn their keep between contract and closing. I mean, anybody can put the listing out on MLS, FMLS, whatever. But between contract and closing, that's where they earn their money. And Teresa, I wish I could be more like her in this regard. She is cool, calm, and collected. It doesn't matter what the problem can be. It's like, okay, let's deal with the problem and we'll fix it and be on our merry way. And to me, that's pretty impressive. So I want to say kudos to Teresa and her team. They've been doing Lake Lanier properties for a long, long time, and they know it because just like in appraising, you have to have somebody who knows this lake to sell and list your property, just like appraising. Otherwise, it could be a disaster. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you so much.
And,
we
you
all
know.
appreciate you. Mackenzie, Michelle, Lexi, Lisa, we appreciate you so much.
Well,
And
thank you.
Thank you again.
You're very welcome.
See y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.